It's felt like ages since Celine first announced the Phantom, and I just want to give a really quick overview of what I think of this particular bag, and is it one that is going to feature on my wish list / will you see one in my collection going forward? Hello, and the warmest of welcomes to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, fab to have you here. Those who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. Hope you enjoy my videos. I put out videos roughly 2 to 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion, slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please do head down, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrate yourself, and of course, celebrating others. So, the Celine Phantom, it had a really close following when it was originally released by Phoebe Philo back in, I want to say, 2013? 2013? I want to say, I'll pull it up on the screen when it was first released. But of course you had the Phantom, you had the Trapeze, then you had the Luggage, which are all very iconic it bags, fabulous pieces. And they recently, or not so recently actually, announced the fact that they were looking to bring back the Phantom. And I think we all waited to see what that was going to look like in terms of the design, the price point, the practicality, the usability. What was it ultimately going to become? And the Celine Phantom certainly has its place in bag history, and I am very fortunate to own one. I own this beautiful example. I have the gorgeous yellow, and I absolutely love it. I picked this up at the start of this year. I faffed about getting this bag for such a long time, and it's funny because I bought this prior to knowing that they were bringing it back, and it's a bit like the Bayswater, where I think they were incredibly popular in a moment in time, and then now you very rarely see them being used, carried, etc. The Phantom has very much been the same, where they were incredibly popular, definitely cemented themselves in bag history, but you don't tend to see them out and about that much anymore. And it is a little bit of a rarity, but part of that really works for me because I love carrying something that not everybody else is. So yeah, here is my beautiful example of it. I absolutely love it. Really capacious bag, great functionality. The only thing with it is it can get incredibly heavy. It is a really big bag, but it's fabulous nonetheless. And what is quite cute with it is people say that it looks like it has a little face on it, which I can totally see. And they lent into that a little bit with some of the newer pieces. So that's what the older iteration of the Phantom looks like. Let me take my stuff out of it. And on the inside, it's like a microfiber suede almost. You can push in the sides if you wanted to and make it sort of much boxier. But I much prefer it with the winged effect to it, which is like that. So that's what the current Phantom looks like. And you can pick one up on the pre-love market. A good example, somewhere around £1,000. It would probably set you back for a good example. And you can get them in leather, you can get them in fabric. As someone who has tried on the fabric, I would say definitely go for the leather. It looks so much more expensive. I tried on a yellow fabric version back in 2023, was really set on it until I saw it in person and thought it looked so cheap, and it was actually really expensive. So I would definitely go for a leather version. The only fabric that I've seen that I've really liked is the navy stripe, navy and white stripe. So, but anyway, they have brought out the new version and they are calling it the medium new luggage. So, well, there's a small, but there's also the medium new luggage in supple, shiny lambskin is the one that I am showing you here. And it is £2,950, which to me was not the price point I was expecting. I was expecting it to start with a 4. I have to be honest, I really was. I was expecting it to be, you know, a much more expensive bag. And don't get me wrong, £2,950 is a huge amount of money, but that's not a dissimilar price point to the Phantom when it was released a good few years ago, you know, 10, 15 years ago. And as we all know, with price increases, inflation, all of that fun stuff, a lot of other brands, take a Chanel Classic Flap, I think back in 2014 was what, £5,000, something like that. You're now talking £10,000, give or take, depending on the size. So the fact that they've held pretty true with their price, cool. So let's look at the bag itself, and I'm going to show you the medium size for argument's sake. It's the closest comparison to what I have got. And first impressions, I really like it. I think it's chic. I think it's understated. I think it's elegant. It stays very true to the original design with some updated features. Love, love, love the structure of it. Love the winged aesthetic. Love that they held the front zip and they've got some of the curvature with the stitching and the leather pieces, which they did on the previous version. The flap is a great addition to this particular bag from a security perspective. Weatherproofing, absolutely love that. The shoulder strap. In today's world, practicality is so important. Versatility and usability are so important. And I really feel like they have mastered that with this particular bag. And it does ring true to the luggage name. It looks a little bit, especially when it's on the crossbody strap or shoulder strap, like a piece of luggage. And they've kept true to that, and I think it's incredibly beautiful and incredibly chic. Now, the only thing I would say that I don't love with the strap, and this is true of I think any bag that comes with a shoulder strap like this, is the way that it pulls, especially at those sort of winged aspects. It pulls at them a little bit, but still love it. Love the way that the zip is extended as well. So I think it's got a zip across the top. Not only have they got a flap for security, weatherproofing, etc., I think it's got a zip this now goes across the top of it. It does. It does. That makes a huge difference too. This is a fantastic redesign of the bag. And when I first saw the original images, I wasn't blown away. I thought it looks really nice, but I did remember saying, I actually said it in a video, maybe I'll just buy a secondary older style. But having seen this, I'm really, really tempted by that. Although I wouldn't want it in black, that's the only thing. I also just need to say, I cannot stand the Celine website. Ugh. It's a really annoying site to navigate. Okay, size-wise, it's a tiny bit smaller. So it is 16 centimeters by 22 centimeters by 36 centimeters. So it's actually more equivalent to a Bayswater than the original Phantom. The original Phantom, when the wings are out, is definitely a bigger bag. So yeah, this is more like 40 something centimeters. I think the base isn't, but when you've got the wings out and if you've got it completely filled, it is definitely a bigger bag. But that's a really practical size. That's a very usable size, a very easy size to use. Lambskin, suede calfskin lining, gold finishing. Now, lambskin, that's probably going to scratch a little bit. It is going to age and wear. However, do I think this is a bag that will look beautiful as it ages? I really, truly do. I think it's fabulous. So it comes in black. It also comes in brick, which is a really beautiful kind of reddish brown. Not something that I would normally be drawn to, but do I think it's beautiful? I absolutely do. Complementary products. There is a medium pouch in glossy calfskin, which is really cute. They've leaned into the face with the little sort of smiley face zipper. I wonder how easy that is to open and close. How smooth that zip is. But that comes in black, blue. The ultra blue is stunning, absolutely stunning, and citrus, which is a sort of soft buttery yellow. That's £670. And I believe, and of course I'm not in their sales team, their design team, anything like that. I wonder if they have separated, maybe doing the pouch from inside the bag. Not that the original came with a pouch, but obviously that's something that, for example, a lot of totes come with. something like a Never Full, there's always a pouch that accompanies it. I wonder if they've done that separately to maybe try and keep the price down a little bit, which, hey, I can see still making sense. And then if I'm not mistaken, you may also like, there is a small version. So there's a small version that comes in citrus, black, soft tan, and oxide blue. And details wise, that is 24 centimeters. So that's a much smaller bag, significantly smaller. It's cute. Am I in love? No, but it is cute. I will give them that. It's a way of getting, if you like the style, but don't necessarily want the size of bag, it's a cute way of getting it. And particularly with the luggage from years gone by, they had, I believe, 3 different sizes, didn't they? And there was a very small version, which was very cute. And I can see something here that I want to click on. Medium new luggage in suede. So they also do it in a beautiful beige suede. This is beautiful. That is stunning. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is a beautiful bag. Gorge. I love how they went for a slightly more muted hardware with that particular suede. That is beautiful. Ooh. In the UK, that is a tough bag to wear. Suede in general is quite tough, and I say that as someone with denim bags, suede bags, velvet bags. You have to pick your moments very carefully, but oh, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous example of this particular bag. They've done a fantastic update. Love the fact that they've taken the reference from, you know, a very popular, very iconic design from Celine of you know, the past decade, maybe a little bit more, but it's beautiful. You're seeing a lot of fashion houses that are referencing former designs, reinventing former designs. Obviously Louis Vuitton have done it throughout 2025 with the Murakami drops and reinventing some of those pieces. Like, so it's really nice to see, because when designs are iconic, when designs are popular, they're that for a reason. So I don't believe that as a fashion house, you should always feel this urge to reinvent the wheel. You should be comfortable with just reimagining a design and a style and modernizing it, bringing it up to today's, the lifestyle that people today are living, and making it fall in line with that. I think can be incredibly successful for a particular brand. And I think Celine have done this very well. Now, will I be looking to buy one? So, I would be very tempted. I would need it to be the medium size. As much as I like them, the black nor the brick would be for me. The suede is stunning, but I wouldn't personally spend £3,000 on a suede bag. That to me would just feel like a bit of a risk, and I am a little bit carefree when it comes to my bags. However, would I buy it if they brought it out in mock croc, white, another bright colour, and maybe a pink? Do you know, I would love to see it in a pastel green, a pastel purple, a pastel pink, a pastel blue. Yes, I would absolutely pick one up. I don't think the price point is unreasonable. It's very expensive, but I do believe that it is reasonable for the fact that it's Celine, the updates that they've made, the versatility of the bag. I think you can spend a lot more on bags that are significantly less practical. Would I prefer that? If I was given the choice of that versus a Birkin or something, I would choose a Birkin. A Birkin 35. But do I think that's a fabulous, fabulous alternative to that sort of bag? Yes, I do. I think it's a great mix of, if you were looking at a Kelly 35 or a Birkin 35, or is it a Kelly 32? 32, 35, I'm not that au fait with their mares, but I think it's a great combination of those bags. Beautiful. Love it. I think they've done a fabulous job. Celine, well done. I will certainly be keeping my eyes peeled. And also it might be one that, hey, maybe if the right version comes up, I either just go for it, or I might just sit on it for a minute and maybe pick one up if there was a decent discount code or something like that. You know, nearer £2,000, I could see myself maybe buying that suede. But 3 is a little bit too much for me. But places like Selfridges, Harrods, Harvey Nichols, you know, sales happen frequently. So, hey, I might get lucky. But there we have it. Those are my thoughts on the Celine Phantom. I would love to know what your thoughts are. Would you buy one at all? Would you buy the older style? Are you loving the newer style? Tell me. I would love to hear. Thank you so much as always for watching. I look forward to seeing my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Mwah.